The person who gets the most done has the least excuses.
Welcome to the Millionaire Woman Show, where we'll be discussing leadership, business, human potential, inspiring you to live rich from the inside out. Unlock your creativity, stretch out of your comfort zone, break through your barriers, take inspired action, and achieve epic results. Now here's your host, 3-time best-selling author, speaker, and certified executive coach, Debra Kasowski.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Millionaire Woman Show. I'm your host, Debra Kasowski, and today we are talking about sharpening your strengths. Now, it was Marcus Buckingham who said, strengths are not activities that you're good at. They're activities that strengthen you. Now, when we think about our strengths, people often say, well, why are you focusing so much on strengths versus weaknesses? And one of the things that I want to tell people is when we focus on our strengths, we are playing where we feel most joy, where we have this life force that comes from within us, that when we're in our strengths, things come easily. We have a higher impact than focusing on our weaknesses. So the first thing you need to do really is identify strengths. Get to know thyself. Now, for some people, this can be challenging because identifying strengths and focusing on what you're good at, people suddenly go into feeling the need to feel humble, not wanting to shine light on themselves. They're embarrassed. They don't want to focus, or they haven't taken the time to focus on what those strengths are. But when you do, it is so empowering, and you can do so much by leveraging your strengths, by working on strengthening them to begin with. Now, when you work and play in your strengths, like I said, it energizes you. You get excited about life. You're in a state of flow, that zone of genius, often referred to. And it doesn't feel like work. It is truly the path of least resistance. This is where you're focusing on what you're naturally good at, and things come easily. Now, when you're in that state, that creative zone of genius, where innovation sparks and ideas come alive, you tend to attract opportunities because energy is magnetic. You pull in opportunities and people and resources that you need to achieve the success or the results you're looking for. Now, you have to spend time honing those strengths and skills and not your weaknesses. It's not that we don't pay attention to the weaknesses. You definitely can develop weaknesses over time, but not as much as when you put your full energy and focus on when you focus on your strengths. And when you're focusing on your strengths, people are like, well, how do I go about doing that? You listen to a podcast, you read a book, you read a magazine, you attend conferences, you study industry trends and just different information in that area. They say that when you focus on that one path, which focus stands for one course until successful, developing your strategy or plan, you will be more successful than if you diversify into so many different things. So focusing on what you want to achieve, the end result that will be that you eventually achieve it or something better. Now, the other thing that you want to start thinking about, because your weaknesses don't go away. So what I would suggest to you is that you outsource, you delegate, or you surround yourself with people whose strength is your weakness. And that way you build a team around you that is going to support you, be loyal, because you've helped empower them to step into their strengths, their zone of genius. You build loyalty, you build engagement, and you have people lifting each other up and rising together. So, when you outsource and you delegate and you focus on surrounding yourself with those people who make you better, you make them better in return. The other thing that you can do is ask for feedback. Now, sometimes when people ask for feedback, they also got to be prepared to get an answer that they might not like. And here's the thing I want to remind you. Don't take it personally. Whether it be positive or negative, it's still someone's opinion. So you need to come with discernment and see, is there value here? If someone's just being a critic to be a critic, it's not going to serve you. You want something constructive. Because remember, people, you remember criticism, but they respond to praise. So you need to really pay attention to the feedback that you receive. And sometimes that feedback is a matter of failing forward, taking information in a feed-forward fashion that will be valuable to you the next attempt. The other thing that I really suggest is reflective journaling. Now, reflective journaling allows you to think about different situations, thinking about how you leveraged your strengths, how you identified your strengths, what evidence or rationale made you choose those strengths. And as you do that, you're going to realize where your thinking has been. And when you can see where your thought process is and the actions that you've taken and how you feel about where you're playing in your zone of genius, then you can, up-level things. You can pay attention to where you need to focus in on what strengths you want to further develop. Now, by doing that and reflecting, you can really be intentional. And the final one is, of course, is intentional, deliberate practice. Now, if you're a speaker, you want to speak. If you're a writer, you want to write. If you're a cake decorator, decorate cakes. If you're a videographer, you're going to take more video, right? So you want to be focused in on where your zone of genius is. There's people who focus on their zone of genius is systems and processes. They can streamline like no tomorrow. Others are really good with numbers and financial or detail. And then there's others who are people. They just generate energy and surround themselves with people. They're really great at networking. So that's their zone of genius. Some people it's sales or marketing, or whatever role that you're in, whether it be life, leadership, or business, there's a way to hone those skills so you can become better at whatever it is that you choose. Now, sharpening those strengths is going to give you a greater return on investment than focusing on those weaknesses. Again, strengths are not activities that you're good at. They're activities that strengthen you. And in one Gallup study, employees felt more confident, self-aware, productive when they were focusing on their strengths versus their weaknesses. Now, identify your strengths. What are those strengths? And drop them below in the comments. Now, if you like this video and you found that it resonates with you, please share it, rate, review, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single video. And I'd love for you to go over to my website. I'd like to invite you to go to debrakasowski.com, where you're getting your 3-part video course called Making Habits Stick. And you're going to build consistency and focus into those goals and dreams of yours so you can knock them out of the park and make them a reality. Also, with being interested in coaching, book your discovery session on my website on the contact form, and we'll be sure to set up a session with you. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world and go out and make today great.